essentially the gunas are energetic expressions. So the gunas are energetic expressions of Shakti, and Shakti in yoga is all forms of energy in the universe. So everything that you see around you, including yourself, is made up of energy, of what we call Shakti in yoga. And the gunas are just energetic expressions of that, of Shakti. And we experience them at different times, in different ways. They shift constantly. They shift, they can transform, and that is one of the most important things to remember, is that whatever you're experiencing in the moment is not permanent. It will shift. The energy within you shifts, it transforms. And there are certain yoga practices that you can do that help you to move through the gunas, to move through the energy expressions that you're experiencing at the time. And so what we'll do in this video is we'll have a very brief look at the concept of the gunas and where it comes from, and then we will look at some examples and relate it to how we experience life, and maybe see how the gunas show up in our lives. And then we'll look at how you can influence the gunas, how you can transform and move towards a place of lightness, of calm, of peace, which is what we call sattva. Let's start with where the gunas come from. The gunas are part of Sankhya philosophy. Sankhya philosophy is a major school of Indian philosophy, which is same as yoga. So yoga is also a major Indian philosophy. And they are both referred to as darshanas. Darshana means a perspective, a way of looking at life and the world around us. So Sankhya philosophy and yoga philosophy are both darshanas, a way of looking at life and the world around us. They offer us a perspective. And Sankhya and yoga philosophy are very interrelated. So in the Yoga Sutras, in Raja Yoga, classical yoga, there's a lot of Sankhya philosophy and concepts in the Yoga Sutras. So to understand the Yoga Sutras, you have to have some understanding of Sankhya philosophy. So there are 3 types of gunas. There is tamas, rajas, and sattva. Tamas is tamas energy is associated with darkness, heaviness, and how this shows up in your life if you're experiencing tamas is unawareness. So you're not actually aware and present of what's going on. You might feel quite heavy, lazy, needing a lot of rest, not feeling motivated, dull, tired, lethargic. And then we have rajas. Rajasic energy is disturbance. So the energy is, there's disturbance in the energy, there's the stimulation, and how you notice rajasic energy in yourself is through disturbances. You'll probably be wanting to do lots of things. Your mind will be racing from one thing to the next. You will be maybe quite agitated, maybe quite angry, impatient. You might be being very successful in whatever you're doing in your career or whatever, because you're feeling very driven, you're feeling very passionate, very stimulated, lots of activity. So that's rajasic energy, and kind of how it can show up in your life and in your mind. Then we've got sattvic energy. Now sattvic energy is light, balanced, pure. There's no disturbance. And how you're experiencing sattvic energy is, you'd be feeling very light, very balanced, very peaceful, joyful, very present, very aware. So they're the 3 types of gunas. So we've got tamas, rajas, and sattva. And we experience these at different times, different, they transform, they change. We don't tend to stay in one for a whole life. They transform, and it's not one or the other. They also intermingle. But the aim of yoga practice is to move from tamas energy, so from a place of unawareness. So from a place of unawareness and darkness meaning you can't see, you're unaware, and so you're unaware of what you're doing, you're unaware of yourself, you're unaware of the actions you're have taken and the impact you're having on yourself and other people. And we're trying to move towards, we move through rajas, and then we move up to sattva. And sattva guna is pure energy, free from disturbance. It's, light, joyful, pure presence, pure awareness, without disturbances of the mind. And that's also associated with health, good health, feeling balanced, feeling peaceful. Let's take a really simple example. Let's take an example of cooking. If you are cooking and you don't know what you're doing, like you don't really understand how to cook, you don't understand the principles of cooking, or how to cook the food you're cooking. Say you're overcooking the food and you don't even know, you're experiencing tamas. You're in a state of unawareness, wrong knowledge, delusion, ignorance. That's kind of how tamas shows up in that's how it shows up. Let's say you are cooking and you're feeling very agitated, your mind's like racing to like a million different things. Maybe you're getting impatient, maybe you're getting angry at the people that you're cooking for because, I don't know, they're annoying you in some way. You're disturbed, your energy is very disturbed, it's a bit like here, there and everywhere. Rajas, you're experiencing rajasic energy. Let's say you're cooking and you know what you're cooking with complete knowledge, right knowledge of what you're cooking, and you're aware, you're fully present, and you know how to cook what you're cooking, and you're in the moment with it. You're experiencing sattva. And if you think about those 3 scenarios, which state of being, which energetic expression do you think is going to create the most positive impact in the product of what you're doing, so the product of your cooking, and the feeling of the people around you that you might be cooking for? Sattva, right? Sattvic energy, you're going to be producing a meal that is really nice, that is nourishing for yourself and the people that you're cooking for, and you're going to be spreading peaceful light energy to the people around you. So I think it's pretty obvious that sattvic energy is kind of where we want to go, right? Not just for ourselves, but for other people. It's what we want to experience, right? It's what we want to be experiencing more often than tamas and rajas, because it has a positive impact on your life and the people around you. Another way that you can observe the gunas is through your physical yoga practice. So say you're on your mat and you're doing, I don't know, yin yoga, vinyasa yoga, hatha yoga, whatever physical yoga you like to do. You're on your mat, you're moving your body, or you're resting your body in a posture. Notice if you can feel anything in your body, feelings in your body. What can you feel in your body? If you can't feel anything in your body, or what you're mainly feeling in your body is heaviness, dullness, like a lethargic feeling, then you are experiencing a lot of tamasic energy. If you are experiencing restlessness, agitation in your body, like you don't want to sit still, you're feeling like an itch to move around, you're really resisting the stillness, and maybe you're also feeling, if you're quite in tune with your body, you might be feeling like pulsing in your body, like pulsations, because you can literally feel the energy vibrating in your body. So you might be feeling like you might feel the stimulation in your body, the sort of like this of energy in your body. You're experiencing a lot of rajasic energy. If you are feeling very light, balanced, calm, peaceful in your body, you're predominantly experiencing sattvic energy. The goal of our yoga practice is to move through those to a place of sattvic energy. And when you get on your mat or when you start your yoga practice, you're probably not going to start in a state of sattvic energy. Most of us are probably going to start in a state of rajasic energy because we're always doing something. So we're not actually going to really want to like sit still. We're going to feel a bit of restlessness. And again, if you're quite sensitive to the feelings in your body, you might feel like a pulsating in your body because your energy is disturbed, it's vibrating. Anxiety as well, probably, like the feelings of anxiety, like your heart racing, feeling very unsettled in your body. But what we're doing when we practice yoga is just observing that. Just observing whatever you're experiencing in your body, whatever energy is moving through you and is within you. It's okay. It doesn't last, and it changes. Just sit with it, move through it. Have patience, and have patience. Yeah, just have patience. I would say that most of us predominantly are experiencing rajasic energy. I'm only going to speak for myself, actually. I shouldn't speak for other people. I definitely, predominantly, am in a state of rajasic energy most of the time now. But when I am engaged in a yoga practice, and that includes meditation, I experience sattva. I experience that state of sattva, of lightness, of peace, of harmony. But that doesn't last throughout the day, because then I go about my normal work life and my mind is disturbed because there's so many things to do and focus on. And that's okay. Like, it's a journey. It's a growth journey. So if I look at myself, I can think, okay, you spent 25, 26 years completely unaware of yourself. And then you've probably spent maybe 5 years predominantly experiencing rajasic energy. So you're growing, Abby. You're growing, and you've experienced what it feels like to feel that sattvic energy, to be in a state of sattvic energy, to experience sattva guna. Okay, you might not be in that state all the time, even though you might want to be, but that's okay, because you can still see the growth. And that is a really important thing about yoga, is it's a self-growth journey. You might not be where you want to be, and you might think you want to be somewhere, but just seeing your journey and seeing where you've come and being content with that is really beautiful, and something that we probably don't do enough. We're always thinking of the next thing, the thing that's in the future, and probably don't spend enough time reflecting and looking back at previous versions of yourself and realizing the growth that you've had, the growth that you've experienced within yourself, and where you've come from and how much you've changed in a positive way. So yeah, sometimes we can get a bit caught up thinking about where we want to go, what we want to do next. So the aim of yoga is to cultivate sattvic energy, to move towards a sattva state of being, sattvic energy, to cultivate sattvic energy. And the main way of doing this actually is through meditation. And that doesn't have to be meditation of like an hour, half an hour. Just simply sitting, and so probably not in the traditional sense of meditation, simply sitting in stillness, observing your thoughts, observing the feelings in your body for 5-10 minutes. You could put some peaceful music on in the background if that's helpful, put some nature sounds on. Simply that can help you to move from feeling rajasic energy to sattvic energy. So I hope this was useful or interesting. You can notice, like I say, you can really notice what state you are in, what guna you're experiencing predominantly as you go through your day. If you have any reflections, thoughts to share, please do share in the comments below so that we can all learn and grow together as a community. I'm very big on learning through other people's experiences, and so I love to hear other people's experiences. If there's something that came up for you during this talk, a reflection you had, or maybe you thought, oh, do you know what, I've been feeling quite rajasic lately, or I've been feeling quite sattvic lately, or this practice really helps me to move up to experience sattva. Or maybe you think, oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever experienced sattva before. I don't think I've ever experienced peace and light and peace and lightfulness in my body. Drop a comment below. I would be very happy to recommend some practices that have helped me to experience that, because we all can. Like, we are all able to move the energetic expressions in our body, to move through them, to shift, to transform. And that is what I love about yoga, is it's a transformation. It's a process of self-transformation, moving through whatever you're experiencing and growing through it. And anyone can. Anyone can. It's not, you don't have to be a certain type of person, or you don't have to have a certain set of life circumstances to do that. Everyone has the power to transform themselves, to move through whatever they're experiencing at the time, and to shift and transform, and to move towards a place of peace and lightfulness and harmony. And so actually, if there's any key message that I would like to leave on this, it would be that. It would be that whatever you're experiencing right now, whether that is like tiredness, dullness, depression, anxiety, agitation, anger, they're temporary states of being, and the temporary states of energy moving through you. That's what it is. It's the energetic expressions that you're experiencing, and certain practices can help you to shift those. Yoga practices, including meditation, helps you to sit with them and then shift them, and to experience that light, peacefulness in your body, which is the pure energy, without disturbance, the essence of who you are and the essence of everything around us. But we're so disconnected from that most of the time that we forget that that's the purest form, and it's something we can experience. But it's a gradual process,